Hello, this is Godo. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. Remastered. Um, so last time we went to the moon. I showed off the moon, and I did some. Oop, I'm on page 2 by accident. I did some moon exploration, so we can go up there and I can show off where I looked on the moon. Oh, thank you, game, for just starting to rain right as I start to go recording. It's fine though. I don't mind the weather as long as it's not like horrible for everyone to watch, but like if it is, you better tell me soon because the backlog I have here. So I'm just grabbing my spacesuit really here so I don't get extremely sick or injured when I go up to the moon. And yeah, here's the moon. Currently it is morning on the moon, and it is a little bit of light out, so it's not as dark as it was last time we were out here. So I just took some night vision potions and I went around looking for just some ores that we need up here. So I'll turn on the ore overlay, and I hit a few ore veins. I hit some black quartz ore vein. I hit some manganese ore vein just to grab some amber. Actually, we have this in the overworld too, I think. Maybe. Hang on. Sespartine. What is that ore called? Spessartine. So this ore, whoop, is this manganese vein. Yeah, okay, so this amber is not available in another vein. So amber is something that's a little annoying to get otherwise. So I got some amber from that vein. I got some lepidolite and spodium. I don't know how to say that, from a lepidolite vein. That's like a lithium salt kind of mineral. And then I went to one of these lapis veins, or maybe it was this one. Oh, it was this one. It was this aluminum vein. They both have star metal in them, but I went to this aluminum vein and got some star metal. And that's kind of it for like the available metals. Just star metal is up here as far as I'm aware. That we didn't have access to. Oh, and black quartz. And then I also went and I grabbed a bunch of moon turf. I just like went over here where the ground was fairly flat, and I just bulldozed a whole ton of the moon surface over there. Let me go back to my space platform and drop off my spacesuit because I do not need it with me. I might have my spacesuit somewhere else now that I'm like looking here because like I don't necessarily want to come to my space station every time I need to go to a planet. But if I'm going up on my outer deck, I need my spacesuit. So I'm like not entirely sure where the best place to have it is yet. Maybe I'll build another set to have it outside of my gateway on Nova. But anyways, let's go back to slash home, and I can show you how much moon rock we got. So, whoop, wrong room. So here's all the moon rock we got. We got 400 regular moon turf, and then there's also dark moon turf. It's like just a different shade, and we had 3,000 of that. And the reason we got that is because if we take moon turf, either one, we can do starlight transmutation with it and get endstone. So what is endstone used for? We can put it in the infernal deconglomerator with some power and LP from blood magic, and we can get tungstate out. So tungstate is going to be a tungsten tungsten lithium oxide. We also get some helium from that too. But with tungstate specifically, this is going to be like our primary way of obtaining it, at least early on. We can wash it with some hydrochloric acid, get some lithium chloride that we need to electrolyze again, kind of similar to the titanium processing, to be honest. And then we also electrolyze the tungstic acid to get the tungsten dust and some hydrogen and oxygen. Uh, but that needs EV electrolyzer, so that's like a step up in processing power that's necessary. If we go look at our metallurgy chapter, we actually see that that shows up. For some reason, that's showing up in the high voltage chapter, even though we can't electrolyze the tungstate here, but it's a thing that exists. There's some tungsten ores that are going to be available once we get into the end as well. Ooh, and we're going to need the implosion compressor soon. Okay, cool. Anyways, I never claimed these flowers over here. Not that we need them, really. I mean, here. Into storage you go, but goodbye. So anyways, this is most of the ores that I got from the moon. I didn't get like an excessive amount of anything, but as you can see, I picked up some quartz. There's the black quartz I got. Here's the lepidolite I got. I went to process some of the lepidolite, and whoop, spelled it wrong. We don't actually have any in storage because I sent it over to our electrolyzer to go ahead and looks like we don't have any over here either. Go ahead and electrolyze. It turns into potassium, lithium, aluminum, and then fluorine and oxygen. So I just turned those back into gases. Kind of trying to keep my storage here a little lean until we get upgraded storages because um, I'm either going to have to add more storage units or we're going to have to upgrade our storages before these fill. But electrolyzing stuff kind of makes them a little leaner because some of the stuff goes into gas, which we store in those tanks rather than the items taking up item stacks. And the main thing I got lepidolite for was for boron. So with boron, we're going to be able to make we're going to be able to make the field generators that we needed for where was that thing? It was in the tools chapter. The handy bag. We need MV field generators, which need magnesium diboride wires. So we needed boron to be able to make these magnesium diboride dust. So we can actually go ahead and like make this now. Actually, hold on. Let's do that. So it's magnesium, which we now have, and then boron, which we now have as well. So put those, and I believe it was mixer number 4. Let me just, do we have a crystal? Hang on. I have like so many of these in storage, I should really just get them out and stick them in machines that I need a lot, but this is a machine that I need to accelerate a lot. And this is a machine I need to accelerate a lot. Here, I'm going to go ahead and put the battery in and accelerate it now. Alright, and then how do we cook this? In the EBF, right? We can cook it with nitrogen, but honestly, I'm just gonna cook it with, without a gas, because I don't know that we're gonna need a whole ton of that at the moment, so I don't need to set up a recipe. Um, so that's gonna be something we can potentially get today. So we talked about that. Gassy eggs. I forgot if I talked about this, but actually before our last episode, I had set this up, and I don't remember if I set it up. So I made a HV centrifuge here on our chemical line, and kind of like when I added the fluorine egg, I kind of just added it next to one of these other machines that dump fluids into a insertion pipe here. And this is taking gassy eggs, and it's using them in the centrifuge. Before we were using the chemical reactor and getting hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide. When you put it in the centrifuge, you get nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, which we also get from the chemical reactor, but we also get argon, which we need for certain recipes in the blast furnace. And the alloy blast furnace, apparently. And we also need helium for a few recipes. So we need helium for this Fluix Pearl recipe. If we make liquid helium to be able to cool certain types of ingots, like, let's see, I think I just saw TerraSteel in here. Yeah, TerraSteel needs to be cooled with liquid helium. So that's what we would need helium for. Anyways, the way I set up the logic for this is similar to the other logics I have set up. Actually, it's most similar to... Let me look in my thing over here. It's most similar to chlorine and sodium hydroxide. So let me go to that setup over here. That's this one, right? Yeah. So this setup runs when we need chlorine or sodium hydroxide dust. This setup is running if we need helium or argon. And the reason we are doing helium or argon is because this is our only source for helium or argon that we can explicitly run anytime we want, even though it's making oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide as a byproduct. We have those set up to go in these tanks here. So you can see here's carbon dioxide, very full. Oxygen is full. Nitrogen is almost full. But over in the back, here's where we have the argon. So argon it's at the threshold amount, and then helium is also at its threshold amount. So um, when we need oxygen or nitrogen or carbon dioxide, these machines are going to kick on because they make only those. But if we need argon or helium, this machine's going to turn on and it's going to make both of those, but it's also going to make the other gases kind of as a byproduct. So those are set up to overflow as a byproduct. And I added some more gassy chickens because we were using a lot of gassy chicken eggs when all of these chemical reactors run at the same time, so it was a little necessary. I think we have like 4 or 5 roosts over there with gassy chickens now. It's very smelly, let me tell you. And then the last thing I did was I upgraded Lucerna, and let me show you what I did. So yeah, you can see kind of a preview here. I went up and I went ahead and made some. You can see here where I was playing around with making celestial crystals. So a celestial crystal is made by putting liquid starlight and a rock crystal in a hole like this, like we did before to make these gems. But instead of putting it with glowstone, you put it with a stardust, which we got from the moon. So I made a attuned celestial crystal. I attuned it to Lucerna. In fact, I made 2 of them and tuned them both to Lucerna. And then I dumped them in the in our little regenerating puddle of liquid starlight over here to size them up. And this is what we ended up with. So we have our Lucerna crystal here. We have 2 of them. But we have a 900 size, 92% purity Lucerna crystal. And this now powers the ritual down here. And what this is doing, there is this thing called the ritual anchor, which basically lets us have the ritual in one place, but we have the effect somewhere else. So I moved the ritual up here because this is closer to the sky, and the closer you have stuff to the sky, the stronger effects you get. And then I use the ritual anchor to actually transfer the effect of the ritual down here. So that ritual up there is actually acting as if it's centered down here. So that made the ritual a little stronger, and hopefully we shouldn't have spiders encroaching encroaching on our area. I don't know what our like total operational area is yet. Let's see. I see some creepers on the outside, so we're still like we haven't pushed it very far. Looks like they are over here, right? Yeah, so before we were kind of blocking the spawns up to where all the snow is visible because we know those cold monsters come with snow and they just kind of walk around over there. In fact, here, let's see if we can get a little closer over here to this side to see the mobs. What are... Oh, gosh. There's like a party over there. Anyways, yeah, we can see that they're like still spawning like not that much further. We've only maybe pushed back the range by 20 blocks or something. It's a little bit better centered now. Oh, you know what? That actually just that range of where they're spawning might just be me moving the ritual from here to here. Now that I'm looking at this, because this is about 20 blocks, 20, 30 blocks. Uh, so like even though I did all those upgrades, we didn't really get a big range upgrade on the ritual, which was a little disappointing because I want to... Lightning, please don't set our field on fire. I want to be able to start using this space over here for, for what's it called? For, like, Thaumcraft and other things. What is this? Is there, like, a piece of netherrack there? Jeez. But as long as we're over here and stuff can spawn in the light, it doesn't matter if I put torches over there. We're just gonna have like those jetliner spiders coming and attacking us and being really annoying. So we need to address that before we can really utilize the space over here. So I think the next thing I want to do is one other thing I forgot to mention here. Remote storage access. The start of it anyways. And then sorry, I'm doing too many things at once. One other thing I made was the Domic Resonator. This is a tool from Astral Sorcery that kind of lets you search out high areas of starlight or other stuff. So we can see actually over here, this is a high area of starlight, this where this blue dust is. But if you make the Domic version, which is this recipe right here, it allows you to right-click on a ritual, and you can see the ritual range. So here we can see it's showing us the ritual range as if the ritual is centered on this ritual pedestal, but it's actually centered down there. So we can see the ritual here is not even hitting the floor, and we are up 200 blocks in the sky. So like the ritual range is less than 120 blocks or so, because that tree over there is outside of our ritual range, and that tree is like rather tall. So this ritual range is still only like maybe 100, 110 blocks big. So yeah, let me see if I can set the ritual range and then come look at it from downstairs. As soon as you leave the bubble, the indicator disappears. So let's see. Yeah, we can see it actually does come down to about like our roof basically. So it's probably a range of like about 120 blocks or so, which is still pretty good. Like 120 blocks from where we have it centered right here is like, let's see, we're currently at -20, so that would be right about here. Yeah, that's about where it was before. The range isn't really any bigger for all the upgrades we did, and I'm a little disappointed in that. But we're going to be working on that. But first thing I want to do today is talk about remote storage access. So I started working on some of these quests we did, like the Infinite Expanse progression goals quest. Gave us some ender chests, and I think we had some ender chests from somewhere else as well, because I have 5 of them from quests. Yeah, so there's the Infinite Expanse. There's the Ender Chest, which you make an Ender Chest, you get an Ender Chest, but I didn't make the Ender Chest, I got it for free. Uh, so that was just a free Ender Chest. And then the other one is the Remote Orderer Logistic Pipe, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So I made this Remote Orderer Logistic Pipe, and I made this Remote Orderer. The funny ingredients in here is this infused ender pearl, which was just some dimensional shards from the nether with some molten glowstone and an ender pearl, and then these diamantine crystals, which required these light blue crystal shards, which I got up from the phytogenic insulator with diamond and gallium. So I just made 27 of these little ones, combined them into 3 of these, and then I used them to make one of these guys and then one of those guys. And the thing we can do with this, check this out, right? So we have a remote orderer. There it is. And then we have the remote, well, that was the remote order logistic pipe. And then we have a remote order. And now we can actually go and we can request stuff when we're nowhere near that pipe. So watch this, right? We can go and get some cobblestone. Boom, cobblestone. So you're like, okay, what's the point of that? Well, if we have an ender chest over here, and right now I just have the ender chest hooked up with white, 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 and then I have the ender chest over there, and I request some birch wood. There, we just put some birch wood in the ender chest, right? And look what's over here in this ender chest. Ah, birch wood. So this gives us a way to be able to access our storage from anywhere. But I wanna make it one step better than this. First of all, let's not have this up here. This doesn't need to be up here. Down here somewhere seems fine. Let's have it near our storage so that generally when we order stuff that we already have stored, it's going to quickly come to our chest. So stick this in here. And take the birch wood out of there now. What I would like to make... Oh, well, I would also like to dye this one. So let me see, what kind of colors do we have? We have a cyan dye. How about let's not use our only one die for something? Let's use a lapis and a ink sac because we have a obscene amount of those. I like how I tried to get one out of there and I got the whole stack. Okay, so let's do white, blue, and black. Sure. So now these two chests are not synced up. And if we place the white, white, white chest somewhere else, it's not gonna cause chaos. And whoa, why did that not stack? These chests don't stack anymore. Yay. Cool. Anyways, so this is gonna be our remote request chest there. And, you know, I think as well as having a remote request chest, I should also have a provider chest on there, just in case if I request something and we, like, what's it called? We need to actually use it somewhere else in the system, like the system doesn't have those ingredients deprived. So let me get a... Oop. Connect that. Let's get an item sync module. Not an item sync. Oh, yeah, I need the item sync module. That's correct. And then let's get a chassis pipe. Chassis tier 1. So I ordered those to this chest. They're going to be arriving here shortly. While the chassis is on its way, let me go ahead and chisel this to provider module. And now we just wait for the chassis to arrive. I mean, I wait. I'm going to pause the footage here. That took quite a while. It must have needed to make new FPGA chips or something because, yeah, it just took a hot minute there. Okay, so now anything that is in here, like if we put our mana tablet in there and we go to our remote order, we can see our mana tablet is here. And if we request it, it's actually just gonna... Oh, it's not actually gonna like that. Okay, let me try something else. Let's try our formation wand. Formation wand, if we request that. Maybe it's not working because it's in the same chest. How about this brick? So get the brick in there. And then we can request the brick. No, we can't request the brick. Okay, so this pipe cannot request stuff that's already in the chest. Good to know. Is that an option in the pipe? Hold on. Where's my red remote? Nope. Okay. Let me see if I can add a upgrade. So module upgrade. Request one of these guys really quick, and then let me chisel this to a crafting monitor upgrade. And let me see if I can actually put that in here. Nope, it does not accept that. Okay, I would have liked to be able to see the requests that are currently happening. Let me see if there's any other upgrades we can put in this pipe. So be back in a second once I look at all of these. Okay, the only applicable modules would be the computer craft remote control upgrade, which I don't know if we're going to be using that. The sneaky upgrades, which don't really apply to this pipe, how we have it set up. Item speed upgrade, which doesn't really matter here, and disconnection upgrade, which doesn't really matter here. It might matter if we have more chests around this ender chest at some point. Anyways, so we have this remote order, and like, how do we get our items out of there? We could carry an ender chest around, but every time we would want to take stuff out, we need to place it down and take the items out and pick it back up. So instead, we can make something called the ender pouch, which is like an ender chest, but it's a pouch in your inventory. Imagine that. So let's go and get this bookmarked. In fact, I'm gonna make 2 of these. And the only thing we are missing from this, blaze powder we have enough of. We're gonna need ender pearls, resonant ender, that is 2 ender pearls worth of resonant ender. Some rock wool. And mana steel screws, we'll need 8 of those. And the only thing we're missing is the fey leather. So fey leather is some root stuff we haven't done. We're going to need to make one of these runic shears, and then we're going to need to use fey leather on... looks like passive animals that normally would drop some kind of skin or leather or pork chop, I guess. Anyways, we're going to need to go basically anything but sheep, which is the only thing we have near us. So we're going to need to go find some passive animals to use these runic shears on. But first we're going to need to make the runic shears. So let's go ahead and see how we make this. Okay, so we can make a Periskia bulb to grow, but also we can make it via this recipe. We're probably going to be using this recipe here. So we're going to need a magenta petal. We're going to need a pure daisy. Oh man, really? Pure daisy? That's kind of annoying. I don't think I made extra pure daisies. And how are we going to get the magenta petal? Okay, one thing at a time. Wind thistle, I'm pretty sure we have, but let me go ahead and take these, and then let me take some phyto growth. And let's duplicate our wind thistles first. I did finally find some ox eyes, but we don't have a whole lot, so let me duplicate some of those as well. So let's go in our phytogenic insulator and put our phyto growth with our flowers. All right, so we've created a whole bunch of extra copies of the flowers. Where was the pure daisy? This is healing salve plus mana. Okay, good. We have a lot of healing salve from just like random places. Let's see. Is our magnet turned on? Let's turn on our magnet. Let's get healing salve. Let's just get like 10 of them. And toss them on the floor, and we're just gonna drag them across our base with our magnet. Come on, healing salve. Yay, whee! And then, oh, we have a lot of oxide daisies in here. Good to know. We need mana for this recipe, so... Okay, I would actually like for you to stop following me now, healing salves. Let's go get some mana buckets. I know we have mana outside, but, or in our base. I'm just looking to see if we can do some other source of mana. No, let's just take a cell of mana, I guess. So let's get a cell. How many healing salves did I get? 10? Okay, let's take 10 cells of mana. I'm just going to go manually grab our mana from downstairs. Yoink, 10 cells of mana. And that's going to kick on our tiny planet setup over here. Alright, go drop as many as we can in here, and then I guess I'm going to be sitting here crafting these one at a time because these do not stack. Very fun. The epitome of fun, am I right? Put more mana in there. Alright, and then there's our last one. Okay, 10 pure daisies. That wasn't annoying at all. So let's put our oxides away. We're gonna need some low covalence dust. And we're gonna need wild roots. We should have plenty of. We have plenty of wind thistles now. And how are we going to make magenta petals? Okay, magenta petals we're going to need to figure out because we do not have magenta mystical flowers. We would need to... how do you get the flowers here? Hold on one second, because I think there was a quest talking about it in the mana chapter. Tall flowers need shears to be harvested or else there's no drops. Okay. So let's get one magenta petal, which I think we can get from the work table and shears. So I think I saw allium is an option in here. Yeah, so let's get allium. That's just a vanilla flower. What's a What am I doing with this universal cell here? That's supposed to be in here with some polyethylene in case I need to do a polyethylene craft by hand. So we're going to take this to the workbench over here, and we need a shear. I don't have a shear over here, do I? Nope, let's go get a shear. Oh boy. Let's get some iron to make a shear. You just see me handcraft a shear. Can you believe the atrocity? Okay. That is not what I want. Why are you not turning into tool shear? Oh, here. Tool. So, oh, covalence dust. Whoops. I missed that. I didn't even see that in the recipe. There we go. There's our magenta petal. So now with magenta petal, we can put this in the ground, I think. So yeah, item interaction, bone meal, and magenta petal will make a tall mystical flower. Also, I'm going to need my shears back. So let me plant that. Do I have some bone meal over here? I sure do. So we can bone meal this. I think we can plant ball this as well. Hold up. Plant ball. Okay, I'm about to make a real annoying mess over here, but it's going to be worth it. Clear up all the grass over here so that we can plant ball this without, you know, infringing in all that grass. Yo, the chest over here is a freaking nightmare. Why is it so full? Okay. Got all the drops picked up. We can plant ball this, right? Okay, we can't plant ball this. Good to know. Alright, so we shear that. Now we have a tall flower, and the tall flower we can turn into 4 petals. Okay, and then we can plant those. Can we plant ball these? Oh, we can. Okay. So you can plant ball the petals, but not the actual flower once it's grown. Okay, I think I got them all. Now we can shear all of these. Yep, and look how many petals we have now. Oh, and I missed one here. They're kind of hard to see. Missed one here as well. Missed one over there as well. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and like try to find every single flower I missed. That is good enough. So we're making 10 of these. So let's go and just get that many petals. We can bank the rest of these. We need another covalence dust because I used one for the petal. And I think we have everything we need for our Pereskia flower. And wait, what does this use actually? Hold on. This is the crafting pyre. So we need to what else am I missing? Oh, the wild root. Okay, wild root. We need to put these down here and then get some wild root. Throw that there. Light pyre to begin craft. Okay, we need to go get a... Do I have a flint and steel? I can't believe I don't have a flint and steel. Let's just make a good old-fashioned flint and steel. What is this recipe? What the heck, man? We don't have small steel spring? Are you kidding me? What the heck? Ah! What an annoying recipe. Alright. Get our steel rod over here. We're just going to make one here really quick. Oh, we don't have a wire cutter and it's in my tool belt. Oh my goodness. There we go. Insert. Make a flint and steel. Why was that such an ordeal? Oh, and we're still going to need to wait for the little gear over here as well. Jeez. Speed this guy up. Oh, wait, joke's on me. We must have already had one. Yep, we sure did. Okay, wow. All that effort for a flint and steel. Whoops. I set the wrong dang thing on fire. There we go. I don't know where this pure daisy just came from. But let's go ahead and accelerate this. Did I get an extra pure daisy from somewhere, or was it just sitting on the floor? Yo, hold... Is this not consumed in the recipe? I'm like, did we just duplicate pure daisies, or is it just not consumed in the recipe? I think the roots chapter might say. I mean, nowhere is saying that it's not consumed in the recipe, but I'm gonna assume that is intentional. It's not that big of a deal anyways. I mean, you saw how easy it was for me to make 10 of them. Okay, so we've got these guys. Now we can make our runic shears, so we need some rune stone. Why do I not have rune stone? We need more covalence dust and more stone. Lovely. Oh, no, we do have rune stone. Okay, never mind. I lied. And we need a shear. Does it have to be a fully repaired shear? Runestone and shears. That does not like that, so I guess we need a fully repaired shear for this. And I can just put this shear back over here in my crafting table in case we need it again. Alright, fully repaired shear. Please work this time. Yeah, alright. We'll get our knife. Alright, now we have the runic shears. And what did we get from up here? Some experience, some bone meal. Whatever, dude. Sure-footed stone, huh? Alright, so fey leather. Shared from cows, horses, bats, alpacas, deers, pigs, and more. Okay, well. Do we have any of those nearby? That was interesting. It sheared all of the sheep nearby simultaneously. Oh, also our sheep, or shear barrel here is full. What is life essence? Can't extract this creature's life essence for a while. Does that, like, hurt them? It does not. What do these do? They don't stack. Creature summoning, life essence. Okay. Alright, well, I'm just... Whoops, I didn't mean to throw that in there. Get this mutton out of here. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want these. Get out of here. I need to fill this hole in also. Okay, so let's leave this flower over here. Let's go and put our pure daisies away. So we've got the runic shears, now we can go get fey leather. So we're going to need to go find some creatures that actually drop us fey leather. I think I remember seeing some deer when I flew over to this little island. There were a bunch of deer on it, so let's go over there and check that out. See if they're still over there. I'll just cut while I fly over there. Be back in a moment. Okay. So I checked out the oil well over there, and now I'm coming over here. The oil well's having some issue pumping the oil, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But I'll check it off later. I'll check it again later off camera. Also, I think I messed up my recording button there, so I might need to go and see what I recorded and what I did not record. Anyways, we are over here. There are some deer. Yay. Alright. Shears? Oh, this is like a baby deer. Does it have to be an adult deer? Come on, man. Why you do this to me? Here's where a laser creeper perished, apparently. I thought we had some deer here, but nope. Looks like there's some pigs up there. The pigs should also give the fey leather. Oh, we got a laser creeper here, and I threw my sword on the ground. Oh, God. Let me also take anvil.land volume down a little bit. That is so loud when we're smacking those guys. Okay, there we go. Apologies for the volume jump scare. Alright, we got some pigs. There we go. There's some fey leather. Can I... Nope. Can't do it multiple times. So how many did we need? We need 3 for each. Get out of here, spider. Nobody likes you. And that one had a creeper riding on it? What the heck? Let's put some of those volumes down as well on those guys. Those guys are also rather loud. Damage sustained. Damage sustained. Damage sustained. Unit offline. Okay, laser creeper riding dinosaurs. Let me just put all these volumes down. Okay, there we go. That should put their volumes down so they're not, like, loud as heck when I'm fighting them. Oh yeah, much more manageable volume level now. Where did you come from? You were literally... Where are these guys? Oh my god, okay, whatever. Why are there so many here? Alright, we're not here to kill dinosaurs, though. Come on, let's get our shears. What do you shear for? No, stop. I would like to shear the ocelot. Oh, come back. Come back here. Stop that, you. Okay, can we shear the ocelot? We can. What did it drop? A fish? Oh, we don't need a fish. Alright, let's extinguish our fire. Alright, we need one more. Fey leather. Sorry, pig, I was just... Yeah, I didn't mean... I hope that you don't mind that I took out your buddy there. Do we need this for anything else? I know that it's a leather, but I don't know if anything else specifically requires fey leather that doesn't accept other kind of leather. So it's like a substitute for leather. That I know. But everything that uses it can also accept leather generally, I think. Not these, so these items wouldn't be. Okay, well, I think we're probably good with what we have here for now. Alright. Go dump this stuff in our storage. Don't need to carry that around either. Linking tool I will keep on my bigger bag. Okay, got some inventory freed up, thank goodness. Let's make our ender pouches. So we're going to extract our ender pearl, and then this doesn't need a program circuit? No? Okay. So put our stuff in. 15 seconds? How about like 2 seconds? Alright, there we go. Ender pouch is made. Not a quest, but it is very useful. So now, from anywhere, we can open up the white ender chest, except... Let me put one of these away. We can also go and shift right-click an ender chest. Now we have a white, blue, black ender pouch. And we can open that ender chest over there. Check that out. Boom. Now we have a way to get items out of our storage without being anywhere near our storage, and it works cross-dimensionally too. Like, we can go do it in the nether or outer space. So that's pretty neat. Pretty important upgrade for us to have, I think. The only downside is we need to carry 2 items for it, but, like, that's way better than not having it, right? Cleaning up more random tools I don't need. Life Essence capsule. This is full right now. Okay, that's fine. Let me just store that in there. Whoops, not in there. Store these things I don't need to be carrying all at the same time. I will keep those on me, though. What's in our satchel? Just some mob loot? Throw that mob loot in storage. We have a night vision potion. Ooh, I'd still like to make the night vision cybernetic upgrade, but that I thought that needed something for space, but I looked and then I remembered it's the bioatomic mind from Thumbcraft, which needs this, which is not hard to make, but the hard part of this is the clockwork mind and the fact that it needs infusion. Now, one interesting thing that happened while I was in the moon is that when we went and mined that amber vein, it actually drops a bunch of knowledge fragments from the amber ores. So, like, low-key, mining amber might be a great way to not have to do any Thaumcraft research or a very small amount. Let's go get our... Oh, look at this. Hang on. We're going to use our new system for the first time. Request the Thaumonomicon. Boom. Get it out of our system without going there. Oh, hey. We have discovered Oromancy. Thank you. I'm not crafting those right now. Where does this say where our total knowledge is? Yeah, so if you look in here, this is our theories. So this is our completed researches, and this was just gotten from me spamming knowledge fragments from Amber, which is crazy amount of research. 47 alchemy theories? Like, yeah, that's a lot. So we can totally, like, not have to worry about doing research with just using amber-bearing stone that's on the moon. So that is pretty great. Like, we want to go over here and we want to unlock this. Okay, well, we need to craft an Essentia smeltery for that. We can't really skip that, but let's see. We need to observe an artifice. So that's a scan, and then this is discovering lux. We can do that. So we now have the arcane lamp. But then let's see, we want this. We need an observation for that. What even is this? Dioptra? Dioptra? That's for modifying your gauntlet, right? Here we need some theories, right? So, like, I haven't done any research for these, but boom, just complete the theories and it'll be available instantly. Items that will be consumed, a chest or a hopper. Okay. Anyways, we're not I'm not going through all of this right now, but just an example of how much ridiculous stuff we got. So yeah, if we want to unlock some stuff in here, we're going to need to do a little bit of research. Infusion is going to be the main mechanic I think we're going to interact with. Any hoosers. Awesome. Remote storage access. We talked about that. Okay, orbital drill. I totally forgot that I actually want to do that this episode. So for the orbital drill, we are going to be up in the on our space platform, setting that up, and I'm going to be setting it up on the basement of the space platform. Let me go actually show off our space platform, because last time I did the whole recording and then I realized, oh crap, I forgot to have my microphone on this whole time, so I had to speed it up and dub over it, but I didn't get a good chance to show it off. The space station, just because it was sped up and everything, so what am I doing here? I wanted to go to the space chapter to look at how many outputs we're going to get. So it looks like 20 outputs from the from that there orbital mining drill. I'm going to go ahead and, well, cobblestone. Do we need cobblestone? I'm not going to worry about cobblestone. So let's get a trash can. That's going to be for the cobblestone. And then let's get some barrels. We're going to use barrels, I think, just for the items we need. You know what? We don't need a trash can. We'll just use 20 barrels with and have void upgrades where on all of them, sure. We'll have void upgrades everywhere. Okay, we need more chests. I think it's time to make some extreme wood. Let's go. Where's another energium crystal? Energium. Gonna throw this back in our assembler to recharge, but I'm gonna take the one in the assembler and put it in here so that we can fully accelerate this. And then I need to accelerate that guy as well, just because it can't get the items in there quick enough. Oh, now our item pipe is the bottleneck, really? I've yet to see that happen before. That's funny. Okay, so we just made a whole lot of wood. Let's get all this wood out of here. And then let's put it in our assembler. We want... Whoops. I have no idea what it just crafted there. Oh, looks like I got sound glitched for our, I got the sound glitch for the cutting machine here. How do we fix this? Let me get... I think if I pick it up and put it back, it's going to fix it. Give me one moment to fix this, because I don't want this buzzing over here the whole time. Nope, still buzzing away. Okay. Let's put that back. Oh, don't cut the chest, please. I don't know how I got in the wall there. The output's on the bottom, right? And auto output on. Yeah, I think I have to go relog in to fix that, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Be back in a second. Actually, that was like actually only a second. The game reloads pretty quickly when you are playing in single player. Looks like I accidentally made a fence and a stair. So that's what happened over there when I hit that finger on accident. Alright, anyways, we got a whole lot of chests that will last us for a while. A stack of chests, love to see it. Barrel, let's get 20 barrels. Thank you. Let's get 20 barrel upgrades. Let's get 20 void upgrades. Ooh, obsidian, okay. Quest complete obsidian for what? What quest needed obsidian? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Was it this one? Surely not. I don't know. Anyways. Void, upgrade, 20, go. Okay, cool. That's going to take a minute to do all those crafts. In the meantime, also item conduit. We're going to need not a stack of those, like probably 30. Let's go set up our orbital miner on the moon. Yo, why am I requesting all of these up here? Why didn't I request them to our remote storage? What's wrong with me? How could I do such a thing? Well, since they're already, like, coming here, I'm gonna have to just wait for them. Because I cannot go and relocate it at this point. Like, this just has to process now, so... Okay, up to the space station we go. Get on the dang gateway. Bloop. Okay, we are at the space station. Here's showing off the space station, by the way. I didn't really do it last time, but a couple of noteworthy things. We have our cool dome here that I made. I used the building guide from OpenBlocks to make this. And with the enhanced building guide, you can pump blocks into it, and it will actually place them in the place that the building guide is what's it called, highlighting. The hardest part about the building guide is getting it to actually line up with the shape you're trying to make. And this isn't actually the exact perfect shape I wanted, but it was good enough, so I settled for that. And then another noteworthy thing is the oxygen vent and scrubber here. This makes it so we can be in here without any spacesuit. But if I go... This is the one that goes outside. I have two ender elevators here. That one goes outside. If I go out there, I'm going to start dying without my spacesuit. This one goes down to our basement, and this is where we're going to have our laser drill. But one interesting thing I did here is that I have our space station here. We have it on the middle of 4 chunks. And I put the oxygen vent in this chunk specifically, and then on the chunk loader map, I do not have this chunk loaded. So that means this does not run, and it does not use power when I am not here. So that's going to save us a nominal amount of power, but I believe these have durability, and that's going to save us some durability over time on the CO2 scrubbers. Otherwise, if we want to provide our own oxygen, we could do that, but that's, like, annoying, right? And I don't know what oxygen trace is, but, I mean, we can breathe in here, so, like, I'm not concerned. Like I can even change the redstone behavior here, and it doesn't seem to do anything. So I don't know why we can breathe in here. Anyways, we can breathe in here as well because it's in the floor, and yeah. Okay, let's do our laser drill. So I brought up over all the stuff to make a laser drill. I also have the stuff to make the warp core. Warp core is what allows us to go to a different star system. But warp core is what we're going to be building later. For now, let us make the laser drill. Do I have the laser drill currently selected? I do. Okay. So this is what the laser drill looks like. So because we're going to have the chunks chunk loaded, I think I want to have it so that everything is over in this chunk over here. It can kind of like bend, kind of go from here to here, and then we can have storage over here maybe? That seems good. Because it is kind of like this kind of big shape here. So let's try to plop it like here. Okay, let's move it back a little. Whoop. Okay, can you actually like get out of the way? Okay, go there. All right, that looks good. That has all of our... let me move it back one more tile. Hold on. I'm struggling to get what like tile it's actually placing this thing on. Okay, I'd like to move it back one more tile. I would still like to move it back one more tile. Okay, I'd like to move it back one tile the other direction. Oh, come on, now it's moving it further that way. Why is this so hard to do? Okay, one more. So that's the center. Move this way. Okay. There, geez. That was unreasonably difficult to get it exactly where I wanted. Now I want it this way a little bit. Okay, this is where the power plugs are going to be. So I want to have a good access to the power plugs. And this is where the outputs are going to be. The outputs are going to come out over here and go into... I guess we'll have like storage over here or something. Or maybe we'll have storage over here. I don't know. I'll see. But that looks like a good place as any. So let's go ahead and start building this thing. Okay, so let's get our building blocks on. I just brought them all up here, so we can just start putting this together. I don't think the titanium blocks go with this. We needed some of these. We need all of those. The laser drill controller, and I think the output hatches. And the rest of these are the warp core stuff, so I don't think we need any of those. It's kind of hard to see what's what here. Let's just start putting stuff down. We can start with the laser drill controller, and then the output hatches. Those are easy enough. These are all machine structures here. So we can go ahead and fill those in. And I think the rest of them... Okay, we have like a little corners of machine structures here. And then this is like a little cross of advanced machine structure there. So let's go ahead and do those, and then we make a sandwich of these things. Okay, so that should be that side all done. Next, let's do some lenses over here. I don't think we need any more machine structures. Kind of hard to see what I'm looking at here. Here, let me turn the chunk preview off. Also, do I have like a light source or something? It's a little dark up here. I think I have torches in my white bag, right? Yeah, let's get one of those out. That helps very little, surprisingly. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and put the lenses where they should be. Here's where our laser emitters are going to go. Can go ahead and slot all those in here. And I think these go like in a sandwich, so we do... Uh-oh. Does that matter? This one's turned a different way. I don't think it matters. We do our second sandwich up here. Whoops. Also, don't accidentally break my window and cause the vacuum of space to rush in here. That would not be a fun time for anyone involved. All right, advanced machine structures are going in these slots. Looks like I missed a lens right there. Not really a big fan of this type of hologram building, but it is fine. Okay, I think we're done on this layer. Let's go up to... Oh, we can put our plugs on the back. The plugs go here, here, and I believe directly above, so it makes this 2x2 of plugs. Alright, let's go to the next layer of the holo projector. Need to finish some stuff up over here. Okay. This looks like it's just extending up what we already have, so let me just hide that and just do it without having that clutter my view here. Whoops. Well, whatever, we need to get out of here anyways. Alright, go around to the back side, finish this up, and finish that up. And that should be it. So, does it work? Hey, how about that? Huzzah. We got our laser drill. And one question is, does it work? Does it work where how it is? And I think we also need a redstone signal to turn it on. I think we're going to use... I forget how this interface here works. Let's just use spiral, I think, is what we want to do. Basically, it, like, mines a block on the surface of the planet that's above, which is the void, and then it kind of is just going to move to a different block. And there's, like, not actual blocks down there, but it's like a virtual mining thing, so we need to make sure we are not mining something that is already mined. Let's get a lever. Let's get a... do I have power coils already? I do have some spectre coils. Wait, aren't these supposed to be up on our... Let me go out here in the vacuum really quick. Aren't these supposed to be up here? Yeah, these are supposed to be up here. Go ahead and stick these on here. Let's request some more coils, because now we can do that without having to go back to our base. Doesn't that feel nice? Nice, right? Alright. Go back down here. The only thing we can't see is, like, the crafting progress. Alright, but we've got our lever. We've got our output hatches. Can you put stuff in here? No, you cannot. Kind of annoying to have 2 output hatches, but when this thing is fully powered, it goes pretty quick. So here's where we're going to be plugging in all our power into these little end pieces here. We don't have to do it on the yellow side. It's just the aesthetic thing. We can plug it into the side there. It is kind of dark down here. Maybe we should put some more torches around here. Just because we don't have like a skylight like we do on the second floor. Like here we have that skylight lighting up and then the windows on the side. And let's just put some lights like here and here. Kind of light it up a little bit in the middle. Okay. Here's our coils are done. So let's just plug her in and see what she does. So this uses an obscene amount of power, like in the order of... Oh, wait a second, hold on. I forgot, we got a Spectre coil that transfers 20,000 RF per tick. Now, disclaimer, we don't have 20,000 RF per tick in our Spectre energy injector. So if I put this, we're going to lose all of our power that's in our processing line. But maybe we just do it for testing purposes. And yeah, we do not have enough power here, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And you can see how much power it uses, just an obscene amount. So that's how much it's generating with 2,000 RF per tick. That's 1 amp of HV power. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad speed. It's producing mostly cobblestone, though. But that's kind of to be expected. Here's how much it produces if I dump an absolute truckload of power in there. I actually don't think it's running full speed because it cannot run full speed. This is not giving power to all of the input slots. But yeah, it's a lot of power. I think for now we're just gonna keep it running on like low power mode. So like two of these, 1 amp of HV being sent up here constantly seems fine for now. Let's set up our storage. Which right, I have it home in our request table because I was short-sighted and didn't realize, you know what, maybe I'd like to access these from upstairs in our space station. Where are we going? Space station. Okay. So for this storage, I would like to just have them come over here and just start like filling up some barrels. So let's put like a wall of barrels. We have 20 barrels, so we could do 4 by 5, but this space is only 3 tall, so we can't do 4 by 5. Whoops, I have a barrel of barrels now. What can we do with 3? We can do like 3 by 7 and then have an extra on one side. I think we'll just have to do that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and set that up. Make sure we have space here. Okay, good, good, we do. So here's 4, 5, 6, and then there's going to be one odd one out over here in the back. We will just set cobblestone to go over there. So for these, I'm going to set them. I have my conduit copy paste tool, right? Yes, I do. Thank goodness. I'm going to have them all insert. And I'm just going to use green here. I don't think I plan to have any more things going out on these. Oops, I keep inserting them into the barrels. I don't plan to have anything else going into these this item duct network. So let's set them all to copy this one and paste, 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 paste. Paste, 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 paste. Okay, and then we need to do the last 2 on this end over here. Uh-oh. Whoa, what happened? Oh no, what's going on? Oh, we're getting nauseous. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna suppress the nausea from the camera view a little bit. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Like, did I put my head into the item conduit and then it was like, hey, you're not in a valid block anymore? Oh, yeah, I think that's what happened. So if we, like, put our head into an item conduit, it's like, yo, bro, you're not in here anymore. Again, I'm gonna wait out the nausea for a second. Okay. No, it's not happening with this item conduit. That's odd. I don't know what happened over there. Anyways, let's just try to be careful not to push our face into any blocks. So anyways, we were pasting these over here. And I think they are all set. Whoops, I did it again. Gosh darn it. Okay, I'm just pausing in the inventory when we get nausea so that neither of us have to tolerate it. So these are ready to accept items. I'm going to have these snake around on purpose without having these crossbar connections, just so that stuff is going to appear in the barrels in kind of a predictable manner. So we are snaking down here, up here. Okay, whoops, reconnect that one. So that should be snaking all the way up, down, down, up, over, down. Whoop, I missed a connection over there. Right here, reconnect that one. Okay, so that's going to have these fill in like a predictable manner. We're actually full already over here, so let me go ahead and hook up the item conduit and have them start extracting. Be right back. You know what? I know what it is. It must be checking for what block my feet are in. I bet if I stand on top of this item conduit, it's going to be like, hey, you're not in here anymore. Right? Yep. Okay. So that's what we need to be careful of, is not standing on top of those. Okay. Very annoying, but anyways, let's go ahead and start extracting over here. It should just start extracting it and putting it in the order that it comes out of from the miner. Let's go ahead and start upgrading these guys. And then void them all out. Whoops. All right, and then I want to lock them, but I want to make sure we have stuff in spots that make sense first. So that hatch is empty now. This hatch is full, so let's go ahead and start extracting from that hatch. So it's a lot of cobblestone. This makes predominantly cobblestone is its main output. Okay, there we go. And now this should just start dumping items in here. Dense iron, dense tin, dense silver, okay. This is all unique stuff so far. And the way the item conduit works is that it puts in the closest inventory as long as you do not have it set to round robin mode. So basically every time we get something, it will add it to an inventory. What do we have here? Oh, look at this. We have Skystone already. Skystone was something we needed here. We just got some dense diamond ore. Let's go. All right. I'm going to do something a little crazy here. I'm just going to drain what's at our base, more or less. We can actually go ahead and make some more coils. Like, that wouldn't really be a big deal. How many... There's 8 blocks back here. 8 blocks of coils would be 4 amps of HV, which is what's on our main circuit. So let's just... Yeah. Sure, let's do it. It's not gonna... Oh, we're out of spectral lenses. Uh-oh. So for this, I need to actually go back and cook up more spectral lenses. How do you make those? Spectral lenses? Oh, that's such an easy recipe. Okay, I'm gonna go back and make a few of those really quick. Get our request table here. Spectre lens. Make just I don't know, just make like 10 of them. Alright, so now we can request those, and I'm gonna request them. This time I'm gonna be smart and request it into our remote storage. So coil, we want 6 more coils. Here's where we're getting our power currently. It's just being injected from our main network here, which has 4 generators here. This type of cable supports 8 generators, so we could go ahead and put 2 more down there. To be honest, to be fair, let's get some pressurized fluid conduits to go with those as well. Alright, so here's going to be generator number 5. Plug it in, plug that one in. Oop, gotta wrench the connection there. And then as soon as generator 6 is done, which looks like it's cooking up the gears right now, the big gears. The big gears are done. We should be getting the generator back to us momentarily. Alright, I will take my generator now, thank you. Okay, so now this has 6 amps of HV power. Why are you facing that way? There we go. Alright, so we have 6 amps of power here. We could actually have 2 more amps, and then it would be maxed out. On that cable, I would have to upgrade the cable if we want to put more power. But for now, let's go and... How's our coil production doing? Coils are done. Oh, that's funny. I heard the chest over there open. So we can grab our coils. Let's go back and finish setting this bad boy up. Okay. So let's take this guy off. This has limited throughput, like it can only take a certain amount of power out of each hatch every operation. So if we only have some of the hatches hooked up, it cannot operate at maximum speed. Here we go. Let me turn it off momentarily, just to let the power fill up. Wait, why is this on single mode? I thought I had it on spiral mode. Reset to spiral mode, and then let's set it to like -1000, -1000. There we go. Okay. That should be not running out of ore. I think on single mode we would have eventually stopped having ore come in, which would have sucked. All right. So we have the battery fully charged. Let's turn it on. Yeah, that's how fast it drains power. It is no joke. But if we let it charge up, and then we see momentarily how much power it actually, or how fast it actually runs, like it's running quite fast. Anyways, this is using 4 amps of HV right now, which is quite a lot, to be honest. We probably want to figure out like one thing to be like, hey, once we're full on this, stop running. But I'm probably just going to keep it running, and I'm probably just going to limit the power to be a lower power draw. For now, though, we're just running until we get some of all of the blocks. So I'm going to pause until our barrels are all filled up, and then we will see what we got from our barrels. I'll probably reorganize them a bit as well. So be back in a minute once this has run for a few minutes. Okay, just wanted to show off something funny. So I put some time in a bottle on the coils just to have them work a little faster. And it's making our entire thing shift back and forth, but even funnier over here is the barrels. The labels are doing this rigmarole. That's so funny. All right. Looks like we got all of the, we got some of every material. So let's go ahead. I'm going to wait for that to stop wobbling around. Okay. Let's go ahead. I would like to lock all the barrels so that they are all set and locked and nothing's going to randomly pop into the incorrect barrel or anything. Let me really quickly logically kind of order them. So what's kind of, do we have like any other junk items? I feel like cobblestone is a junk item. Let's put junk over there. And then we can put all of these advanced rocketry crystals together. Let's just put this over here temporarily. We have, where's the red one? The red one I covered, of course. And we're missing one, right? Or are there only 5 advanced rocketry crystals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, where's the, which one are we missing here? Violet? Do we not have violet crystals yet? Also, this was 20 items, right? We have 20 barrels, do we not? This is 3 by 6. That's 18, 19, 20. Yeah. Where are violet crystals? We must have something in here twice. Let's look. That or I'm colorblind, which I don't think is the case. Yeah, violet crystal is in here. It's just not going in. So we must have something in here twice. Dense tin. Nope, it's not that. That or there's something here that we're getting that is not shown. Okay, so there's living rock, cobblestone, obsidian, skystone. Hold on, sooty marble. Sooty marble is not shown here. Yeah, okay, so there's an extra item. That's the issue. Okay, let's grab a barrel. Barrel? No, barrel upgrade for the violet. Ender shard? Oh no. I guess that's the problem when you don't like automate your entire production line and you only automate some stuff because you're just like, oh, I'll just manually make it. Now I gotta go here and make ender shards manually. Uh, Honestly, I'm just gonna make a cutting machine recipe for this really quick. So 8 ender shards from 1 ender pearl in the cutting machine, correct? Yep. Ploop. Alright, now we can order a void upgrade into remote storage. And let's see if we can beat it to the platform. Alright, there we go. We did in fact beat it up here. I'm gonna take the violet block and put it in here manually because I don't want some other item to sneak in there, and lock it up. Okay, and then violet we are gonna stick over here. Shout out if your name is Violet. City marble, let's put that next to cobblestone. I want to have like my kind of rock type materials over here. We can put Botania, but with Botania. And let's see, this is a bunch of ores here. Let's have diamond next to emeralds, and then gold next to emerald as well. So this is like our, quote, high value vanilla ores down there. Then we are going to have iron, silver, lead, copper, and tin, which I did not leave room for. Freaking facepalm. Let's see. Tin. Let's just scoot. Let's put this up here. Let us unwrench that one. I think I'll move living rock up there. I think I like glowstone on top. Here we go. What am I doing? Why am I showing this on camera? Anyways, we are all done showing our stuff. Let us do the fruits of our labor by getting some dopamine dump from all of our work here. Here we go. Are we ready? Just making sure all the upgrades are in all of these. All right, here we go. All right, now I need to start putting stuff back because we can't actually hold all of this. Yep, feels good, man. Look at all these quests. All right. Got a few more to put back. Tin is here. Diamond is there. Silver is there. And copper is here. So these ores are like, we're now just going to get them indefinitely from up here. We don't really need to go mining for them anymore if we don't want to. And they're already done with step 1 of the processing, so we just put them into the step 2 of our magical processing, which is the chemical reactor step with the life essence. So saves us a bit of time. Now, I came up here because I wanted Skystone. So Skystone, I'm going to be taking all of that right now. And the rest of this, we're just going to let it build up. What are these advanced rocketry crystals used for? So if we look at them, these we can macerate for a variety of byproducts as well as the actual addition crystal. So instead of having to make this junk in our phytogenic insulator, we can make it in by macerating these blocks. And then we also have a small chance for some rare metals. So violet gives yttrium, blue crystals give neodymium, green gives cadmium, red gives chrome. Chrome is nice, right? Yellow gives gallium, which we have way too much of. And then this is probably the most significant one. Orange gives indium, and indium is like a big pain in the butt to make. Something that we're going to be making in the future. Basically, we need to do this process to make it. We need to put a bunch of aluminum dust with some indium concentrate. We get a bunch of byproducts that we have to reprocess. Then we also get aluminum sulfide, which we have to reprocess. But to make this indium concentrate, we have to put galena and sphalerite together to get that. So basically, we have to put 4 sphalerite and 4 galena together to get 1 indium. And then we have to reprocess a bunch of junk here to get all of our other metal back. All of our aluminum. We don't even get all of the aluminum back, it looks like. And we also get a bunch of lead, zinc, silver, sulfur from reprocessing that. Anyways, it's a whole ordeal. That's covered in, what's it called over here? That's covered in this chapter, I believe. The metallurgy in you. It's actually covered in HV processing, which is hilarious because I don't think we actually need it until EV or IV. But anyways, that is where we process it. Anywho, I'm going to be taking a few of these off just to let this probably two amps of HV seems like a reasonable amount to be sending up here. And that's going to do it for this episode. I'm going to be doing some stuff with the Skystone that we now have. So we can make... Oh, geez, a lot of stuff. I don't know how much I want to do with this on camera. Because we're going to be able to make Skystone blocks. We can make the runic altar with a fusion. I think what I want to do is we want to expand Lucerna so that we can move into Thaumcraft and do some Thaumcraft stuff. So to expand Lucerna, we need to make a floating crystal. We need to make this kind of floating crystal, I think, to make our ritual stronger. And to make that, we need resonating gems. To make resonating gems, we need the terrestrial agglomeration plate. Yeah, so we need this thing. To make that, we need Terra Steel. We need Raw Demon Eye. Oh. We need some stuff for this. We get some of that from tungsten dust. You know what? We have a lot to work on, so I'm just gonna like make a list and then we're gonna start cranking it out next time. That's enough for this episode, though. We're way over our targeted time. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.